Welcome, Barbara. Thank you very much for coming and showing here at Timeless Textiles.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's a great honour, really.
Oh, the walls look beautiful. The gallery looks alive with all your silk, doesn't it?
Well, I'm just so happy with the way you've hung it, and it just looks really lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, you've been working as a Shibori artist for many years, haven't you?
Well, probably 40. Yes. So yes, and I have been to 9 or 10 international Shibori conferences.
And what is it about Shibori, Barbara?
Well, I started off as people in my generation do. You just do your dressmaking, your sewing, what have you, and you graduate and you have children. And I moved to the country from the city when I was 28 and onto a mixed farm. And so we had sheep, and someone suggested that we should learn to, friends suggested we should learn to spin. So yes, I learned to spin. Well, I didn't really like the weaving that people were doing, but then I saw some more weaving instead of being all natural dyed colours, which are beautiful in themselves, but not my thing. I like bright colours. Anyway, so I graduated from the spinning to the weaving, and then I was apprenticed to Eric Assembler, who was one of the few master weavers in Australia, trained in Germany, and she came to Tamworth from the city and wanted to know why we were all using these dull colours. Well, we were all using vegetable dyed colours, natural colours. And so she sent me off to McGregor's summer school, and the tutor there, David Green, who was at that time head of textiles at RMIT, and he said that in a fortnight's residential school, you got a semester's work done. And he was a wonderful experience and changing my life, made me appreciate bright colours. And so I went 3 years running, and so then and that was about the time in the 80s when silk dyeing and silk painting came to the fore. Well, I can make marks, but I don't have drawing skills as in painting pretty pictures. But so I soon found out I could slosh colour around and get a good effect. And so gradually I went from the silk painting to the Shibori. And the thing that interested me about Shibori is like weaving. I like trying new things, I like investigating things, finding out how things work, and I'm also a very practical person. And the thing that fascinated me about weaving, that I was never going to live long enough to use every technique available. And exactly the same thing about Shibori. With the variety of Shibori, something where there's a resist involved, may not change colour, it may take colour out, but there are so many different techniques and so many different fabrics and so many different dyes and chemicals, and that's why I like Shibori. It's got infinite possibilities, you never get bored. I was fascinated by this silk, which was available in villages in Thailand. Now, most people see the silk cocoons from the Bombyx morai caterpillar, and they're yellow. And when I was a kid, you fed the caterpillars on silkworms, on various things to try and change the colour. Well, it's not the silk that's a different colour, it's the glue that sticks it together, the saracen. So this fibre was available from the villages with the saracen still on. If you boil it, it will come off, so it'll be white. And I liked the texture of it, I love texture. At that time I was wanting to do something for an exhibition in Japan, and the only time I had was while I was travelling around Thailand. So I had a little tiny square loom, rivet looms they call them. And so I made the first one, which is not here anymore, but it was accepted for a juried exhibition in Japan and later acquired by Alice Springs Art Gallery. And I went on, I've made about 7, they've gone to various places. This bottom one was in the Leicester Fashion Award at the Powerhouse Museum in Sydney, and I was very excited because there was very few people that I knew got accepted for that. But so that's what's happened, and this one's got gum loose, but I've tried to replicate a Shibori pattern on the top one, and the gold leaf, every time I went to Thailand I bought more gold leaf from the Buddha supply places. It's all pure gold leaf. So with this particular technique, this Mayura technique, all I need is my fingers and the fabric. But every single little knob on that's 7 metres long and this is 10 metres long, has been individually tied as there. So I have those ready to take with me on a car trip or a plane trip, and I have other pieces 12 and 13 metres long, which, you know, they represent a trip to Chile or a trip to here or there. It's a very tedious technique, and then of course it has to be heat treated to keep the creases in. And you know, you shouldn't really wash it, but you could wash it if you just put it in a little bag and crunched it up and were careful with it. As you can see, the black one hasn't been coloured in any way. The gold one, the lame one, I tied up and I was going to untie, but I liked the sculptural look of the way it was, so I left it. But there's lots of possibility. You can dye them and then discharge some of them, do all sorts of things. There's lots of different results. This piece, double piece, is 11 metres or 11 metre pieces of hand-woven silk from Laos. The local weavers in the village, they don't, I'm trying to think of the words, but they don't have everything perfect. If they make a mistake, well, they don't worry too much, they just go on. So yes, there were a few little hiccups in the weaving, and because once again I'm fascinated by the gold leaf, I just covered over the little hiccups with the gold and I thought it gave an extra texture. It was quite interesting. This one here was, I put the fabric onto a plastic pole and sewer pipe and wet it and dyed it on the pole, and that's why it's paler. This one here, I still have some friends who have a weekender, and the 11 metres I stretched out on some plastic on their back veranda and dyed it and then put it on the pole for the second dyeing. Unfortunately, I did dye quite a bit of their veranda, but they forgave me. And one of the things that I'm recognisable for is my silk georgette pieces. So you can see that this one here has been dyed first and then put on the pole straight and then over dyed. And over the years, I mean, there's lots of things you can do. You can put it on the slant and have a herringbone effect. But over the years I've played around and experimented, and this is another one of my ideas where the arashi has, you know, a wild, uncontrolled look. And, you know, I think that was something I invented. So I think I put all that effort into things and travelling overseas to find out how to do things. And so I'm really hoping to pass it all on because I don't want people to not know about it, you know. So I just like to think that, yeah, I can pass on the information.
They're so beautiful, aren't they, all those markings?
Yeah, well they are, and they're quite random, and if you have a look at my business card actually, there was a piece on that, but I really think that's one technique I have developed. I haven't seen it anywhere else in the world. And of course the Japanese are so precise, so they wouldn't do anything random. I always say random's my middle name.
Well, I think we're very lucky that random's your middle name, Barbara. Thank you, and it's wonderful to have your work.
Thank you, Anne.
On show.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's really wonderful to be in such a prestigious gallery. Yes.